Assalamu alaikum. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have been enjoying the podcast that we have been bringing your way. And please, if they have been of value, kindly share your thoughts with us in the comment section or forward it to a friend of yours. So, today's podcast, I'll be talking about the God factor. So let's start this properly. Man Zakid. Buenos dias, bon dia, guten tag, mache maha, habari, jambo, bonjour, bonsoir, wezo. Most people often ask me, Prince, what is God to you? And just to not create any confusion, I'm not talking about my God or your God or someone else's God. God is whoever or whatever is responsible for all of creation without explanation of his origin. Some of you are thinking, he really prepared the definition of God ahead of time. Yes. I know the times we are in. You have to mind your words. So now that we've gotten the definition of God out of the way, let's go into the podcast. I'm fascinated by the concept of luck. I'm intrigued by hard work. Don't get me wrong. I know some people are going to say, you know, what it took me to succeed was 2 years of hard work with 4 years of labor and 7 years of no sleep. I drank 1 glass of water every 6 months. I ate 1 plate of rice every 7 weeks. Guys, some people are really working hard, you know. And chapeau, hats off to them. We respect their hard work. But I'm fascinated by those who practically do nothing and succeed as well. It's like people are like, oh, Prince, they never do nothing. Yes, I agree with you. There's always a minimum level of work required. But when you look at a success that corresponds to someone else's work, you're going to be like, yo, what's going on here? There's a scripture in the Bible that wakes me up every time I feel sleepy. It says that horses are prepared for battle, but victory comes from God. Horses are prepared for battle, but victory comes from God. So just to give you guys a bit of a context, in those days, or in the era of when the scripture was written, wars were fought with horses. Now wars are fought with planes and jets and all these things. And there were different types of horses. There were horses that were used to send chills down the spine of the enemy. These were horses that would neigh when they are near the enemy territory. And we use these horses when we have large armies. So when the armies are coming, you hear, imagine that sound just being reverberated across acres and hectares of land, and the enemy is just there, petrified. And then there are the horses that are used when you want to go in silently, hit and retreat. These horses are almost silent. The only sound you'd hear will be the sound of their galloping. So when the Bible then says that, or when the scripture says that horses are prepared for battle, but victory comes from God, it is not just saying that, oh, you get ready and you sit on your horses for battle, but victory comes from God. No. It is saying that despite all the preparation that you could possibly make to win a war, victory does not only come from your hard work. There's another scripture that says that time and chance happens to us all. Luck is probably the most complicated element to describe. Scientists use luck a lot, even though scientists always say we're all about facts and precision. Scientists say, the Big Bang is 1 in a billion trillion possibility. That is chance, luck. Today, I want you to critically observe your work. Observe yourself. And for most of us, we have been living on a God-given grace. So even for those of us who don't believe in God as a being or as a person to worship, there is still the God factor in our lives, where a lot of things that were supposed to happen to you didn't happen to you. A lot of troubles that you were supposed to face, you evaded. And you'd say, I don't know how, but I found myself out of trouble. I don't know how, but I felt like it was going to happen. I had this premonition, so I avoided this. I call this a God-given factor. In fact, I think our ability to even guess the future our ability to foresee, our ability to sense ahead of time something that is about to happen to us. It's a God-given nature. Because technically we are beings of the present. We are only supposed to live in the present. How then can you be so sure sometimes of something that is going to happen in the future? And of course, people would say, praying is scientific and it's probability, it's statistics, it's actuarial science. If you actually observe this and this and that and that, then that is going to be predictable. I say yes. The ability for us to even create this kind of science is a God-given nature. An animal does not eat and save for tomorrow, except a few. An animal does not predict exactly what is going to happen, except a few. And we are part of those. I like to define this as a God-given factor. So yes, you have been working very hard. You have been disciplined. But as we say, my guy, that's not all it takes. If you're a believer, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, then you should also pray. If you're non-believer, then you should meditate. Connect with whatever source you believe in. Because if there's something that you and I can both agree on, it is that life is not all that physical. There are aspects of life that we cannot necessarily explain, but are as real and tangible as everything else. You might not necessarily be able to say for a fact, oh, this is supposed to happen or that happens. But you almost feel it and you feel its effect. So there are some things that you don't even know whether they are real or not, but their effects are felt. I'm not trying to scare you here. I'm not trying to say your hard work is useless. But you can look at the lives of other people who have worked less harder than you have. And they seem to be making it. There is a God factor. This is my thoughts. And guys, I said I was going to share what I really believe in with you, 2023. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think life is all about what we do physically? Or you think there are other parts of life that, though inexplicable, is real? Till I come your way next time, the name is Prince Tego. Stay safe. Cheers.